Hello there, I'm John Hall and we're going to have a look today at the Pilot 823, a pen that has in turn intrigued, frustrated and delighted me. It intrigues me because it's got an unusual filling system, not unique, but plunger fillers are not all that thick on the ground. It frustrated me because for many years Pilot wouldn't import it into the United Kingdom. When we finally got some, I've got to say, it delighted me. Partly because we managed to get hold of something that we failed to get hold of in the past, but also because it is, in my view, a remarkable pen. There is still a tinge of frustration because Pilot UK are only able to get hold of fine, medium and broad nibs. And as those of you who study these things know, Pilot do produce a very remarkable and tasty range of different nibs. But there we are. But I think without any further ado, we ought to take a look at the pen. Right then, in the UK anyway, the Pilot 823 comes in a large and impressive gift box. Lift the lid. Pilot, there we go. So, a Type P fountain pen. I wonder if that stands for piston. Who knows? Because I suppose it is a different way of using a piston. And in the box we have a very delightful bottle of ink. I love that shape. Let's take a look here. There we go. That is, well, that's a bottle of ink. There we are. We'll pop that there. And then we see the pen. Now, there we are, the Pilot 823. We'll take a closer look in a moment, but the thing I want to point out is that it comes in two flavours. This at the moment is the easier one to get a hold of, and they call it black, but it is actually translucent, and you can possibly just see the piston rod going right the way down the centre of the pen. The other flavour, as it were, or colour, is brown. And essentially, you pays your money, you takes your choice. In all respects, they are identical, other than the colour of the resin used to create them. So, there we go. Two very good looking pens. We'll have a look at the outside of the pen in a little more detail now. This one's in my hand, there we go. So, what do we have? Right, we have a clip with a large and secure looking ball on the end of it. Let's have a look. There we go. Well, that's quite tight, so that's not going to be jumping out of your pocket. We have the cap, got a band there, but the band here tells us that it is made in Japan, and it is a custom 823. Because of the filling system, it's actually got notes to tell you about it, and you'll be able to read those when you buy one. Well, you can possibly read them on screen, I don't know. Okay, so far end here, you've got the barrel, but right the way down the middle, you can see very clearly there, the piston rod. Okay, let's take the cap off and look at the nib. And what you'll see is that it's a very large nib actually. What's that? 15s. They call it a size 15. I've never understood nib numbering, nib size numbering. Everybody seems to do it differently. I think the best thing I can say is that it's big and impressive, and I like it. So, looking around the bottom there, okay, seems to be extremely well set, that's good. And relief, let's see how that goes. Well, the way I hold a pen, actually they're very smooth, that's not a problem, so the screw threads there are not going to upset anybody. There we are. So, a nice looking pen, fairly heavy actually. I mean, it's, you know, sort of, yeah. You know you've got something in your hand. It's not a light pen, not a light pen. There we go. Let's show you how to fill it now, so you simply unscrew here. Are we there yet? Are we nearly there yet? Yes, we are. So pull this out. Now, for a lot of people, this is, the concept is a bit hard to grasp. Well, many of you, you know perfectly well how it works, so there we are. But what happens is that as you push this down, you're creating, oh, that is a good demonstration. You're creating a vacuum behind the plunger there. Okay, so you can see as soon as I let go, it pops back up again. So push this down, vacuum, 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 pop. And suddenly you reach the valve at the bottom there, and the ink is sucked in here. So, and it fills, and you get this really good capacity in these, and it does work extraordinarily well. Now, this is a Japanese style eyedropper. Of course it is Japanese. So when you screw that right down, you're actually creating a seal between the section and the barrel of the pen. So ink will not leak out. You've obviously got ink sort of in the lamellae there and in the front end of the pen. So you'll be able to write a little bit, but if you want to write any more, you're going to have to unscrew this a bit to let the ink flow. Okay. But there we go. A simple, effective filling system. I'm not quite sure how much you get with a full fill, but it looks like quite a bit because the barrel will pretty much fill up. So there we go. We've had a good look. We'll have a quick look at the black one. Feast your eyes, as it were. Here we are. So as I say, essentially identical apart from the colour of the resin. There we are, same details. A closer look. Beautifully finished, beautifully made pen. There we are. Right, now I'm just going to stop for a moment and we're going to have a little look at how it writes. Here we go. Okay then, before we write, we're going to have a look at the way the nibs are set. And this is straight out of the box. I've got to say, they both look to be pretty well set to me. Let's just compare. Here we are. That looks to be fairly central, fairly nice. And let's just indulge ourselves with another look at the front end here. So, oh, it's a fine nib. Okay. And it's size 15. There we go. And this one, okay, is that medium? I think it is, anyway, there we go, yes it is. So we'll be able to compare them, won't we? Nice looking pens, nice looking nibs. So we'll go first with the medium. Now I've got a nice bottle of Sailor Gentle ink here, the old style bottle, I'm delighted to say. I'm rather hoping that it will cause a warm feeling of sort of cultural familiarity rather than causing it to pick up its skirts and run away from a competitor. So, as you can see, my handwriting hasn't improved at all, has it? But you can hear a little bit of nib noise. The book is a Loic term, so it's good paper. Just a little bit of feedback, but oh, actually, no, I mean, you know, this will write under virtually no pressure at all. That's lovely. And a very nice nib, a very nice nib. Quite firm, oh, a little, yeah. I mean, it's quite a firm nib. Little touch of softness there, but not very much. So there we go. So that's the medium nib. Let's now have a look at the fine nib. The first one seemed to coat very well with the competitor ink, so let's hope this one does as well. Well, as you'd expect, a very pleasant nib, under no weight at all, still writes very nicely. You can hear a bit of nib noise there, doesn't bother me. Some people, I suppose it does bother, but I guess if you don't like nib noise, you probably don't go much for fine nibs. I mean, you can see it's certainly a finer nib, so yeah, it does that particular job quite well. Again, I'd live with this. In fact, I might well. This has been a bit of a grail pen for me for some years, particularly when we couldn't get hold of it, actually. So, yeah, there we are. So, Pilot Capless 823. First time I've really given them a workout of any sort, and I've got to say, I really like this pen. It hasn't disappointed. It has delighted. The Pilot Capless 823. I'm John Hall from Right Here Pens, and I hope you've enjoyed this.